Hey everybody! Super excited to be live with you again for Ask a Health Coach. I'm here at Shineworthy again. I'm sitting outside today because it's quite busy inside, super loud. I'll wait a few minutes to get some people to join. I've got a couple good questions today to talk about, so I'm super excited. You might notice I'm by myself today. My partner in crime is not able to get on today. So we miss you, Sara. Sara's usually right here, missing her. But don't worry, all my Dr. Frap fans, she will be back with me live and in person next Wednesday. Yay, I'm gonna get started in just about 30 seconds. Super excited about these questions. I've got one question that I'm gonna start with today. It's kind of controversial. But it's one of my favorite subjects to talk about, so I'm super excited to talk about it. I hope that some more people have liked my fitness page so y'all can view this live instead of waiting for me to share the rebroadcast. All right, I'm going to read a question that I got. One is from, well, this was a question asked to Sara, but I'm going to go ahead and address it because it is just one of my favorite subjects to talk about. So Blake McConnell says, pros and cons of milk. I know everybody says milk is bad and suggests swapping to almond milk. What are your thoughts? My first thought is absolutely switch to almond milk or cashew milk or rice milk or any other non-dairy form of milk. There's a few reasons for that. The first reason, dairy products promote inflammation in our bodies, and so many diseases are caused or made worse by inflammation. Every single autoimmune disease stems from inflammation in our bodies, so we don't want to put things in our bodies that promote or cause inflammation, right? We want to fight inflammation. So dairy absolutely promotes inflammation. So that's the main reason if you're looking at it from like a science or a medical standpoint. But here's my deal too with dairy. Oh, another thing, it causes, so if you see skin irritations, like my son gets these little bumps on the back of his arms, and I can't remember the name for it now, it's some long name, or eczema or things like that. There's two main factors when it comes to skin irritations like that, and it's gluten and dairy. So if you're dealing with any kind of skin issue, those two things are something you can try to eliminate and see if it helps your skin clear up, and if it does, then you know you've got a sensitivity to one or the other or both. But another thing about dairy is, let's just think about the animal kingdom, right? So we're animals, we're mammals. We are the only animals that drink another animal's milk without there being an emergency. I know I'm gonna get pictures of like kittens nursing on dogs and stuff like that, but that's when, their mom has died, they don't have another source, so they do that in an emergency. But we're the only animals that choose to drink another animal's milk. Second, we're the only animals that continue to drink milk after being weaned. Like, we don't see adult cows nursing on other cows, right? So it's just an odd thing that we have done as humans that I just think is very unnatural. The third reason I do dislike dairy is the dairy industry as a whole. Now, I'm not talking about your small town dairy farmers. I love farmers. I love cattle farmers and dairy farmers. But the dairy industry, the large industry as a whole, it's just really, it's not good. I have a great video that I can direct message to anybody who wants to see it about the dairy industry and really why I choose not to use dairy. Now, I'm not completely dairy free. Our family has pizza every once in a while. My kids still put cheese in their tacos and stuff like that, but we definitely use the highest quality possible. We don't buy any of that fake cheese crap. No plastic things that you got to pull off this fake slice of cheese. So we don't do that. But for me personally, I say no to dairy. But the main reason is the inflammation. We do not want to cause inflammation in our bodies. So that's all I'm going to say about dairy. If you want to see this video It is not safe for work, and you should not watch it with your kids first. You can show it to them later, but send me a message and I will send you that video because it might just really open your eyes. So I have another question. This is the one I really want to focus on today. It's from Kimberly, and she says, I'm a terrible food addict. I would like to know how many times, if any, I can have a splurge meal during the week. So what I want to talk about with this question is the 80-20 rule. We've all heard that, right? 80-20, everything in moderation. You know, as long as you're doing 80-20, we're all good. I will say I believe that. If we are eating as healthy as we can 80% of the time, that 20% is not going to hurt us. Here's the thing though. Most people don't know what 20% is, or are not honest with themselves about, you know, how much healthy they are eating. So if we try to eat really healthy during the week, Monday through Friday, and we say, well, we're gonna splurge on the weekend, you know, instead of having that splurge meal, it turns into a splurge weekend. Well, that's not 20%. You know, that's closer to 40%. 5 and 3. I'm not great at math, but I know that that's not 20%. So we have to really just be honest with ourselves. Are we eating the best that we can 80% of the time? And if that's true, then absolutely 20% of the time, you know, enjoy and splurge. You know, I like to enjoy my healthy food. So part of that comes from an attitude adjustment. You know, a lot of times we go into our meals thinking, oh, I wish I could just have this instead, or oh, I can't believe I have to eat this. But what if we went in to our healthy meals like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to put all these fruits and vegetables in my body because I know what they are doing. Like, they are making me my best. They are allowing my body to heal itself and function at its best, and I'm gonna have so much great energy. So if we change our attitude, it's gonna help us eat better that 80% of the time, right? I feel it's odd doing this without Sara because I usually have somebody that I'm kind of talking back and forth with. So I feel like I'm just talking at you. So if anybody's on and they want to ask a question while I'm talking, go for it so I can answer a question. But so back to the how many splurge meals. I think, you know, it's different for every person, obviously. You don't want to make yourself feel super deprived. So if you're saying, you know, if you say to yourself, I can only have one cheat meal or splurge meal, whatever you want to call it, a week, but that makes you feel super restricted, and the only thing you think about is that meal and when can I have it, then that's not really being super effective, right? Like, you're not enjoying your healthy food. All you're thinking about and focusing on is this meal. So I think you have to kind of cater it to you and maybe taper it down. Like, if you're used to having one splurge meal a day, you know, take it down to 4 days next week, and then maybe the next day only 3 days, until you get it down to that one meal a week. You know, another thing that happens when we have this splurge meal is sometimes, you know, we feel like, well, I've already had that, so I've pretty much ruined my day. I might as well just have whatever I want the rest of the day. And so it turns into a cheat day instead of a cheat meal. So again, there's lots of tactics that we can use, and I don't love rules, like setting huge rules for yourself, because when you, like I said, when you feel that restriction or deprived, like, you're much more likely to fail. And we don't want to fail. We want to set goals that we can reach so that we're excited and that we want to keep going. So my general advice, like I said, is I usually tell anybody that I'm working with, not everybody, but I try to get people to start a food journal, because at least in the beginning, at least the first week or 2 weeks, so that you can see what it is that you're eating. So you can see, okay, I am having like 5 cheat meals a week. So maybe next week I will make my goal to just have 4. So that again, you're going, you know, one simple change at a time instead of trying to overhaul your whole life. You know, food addiction is very, very real. I'm not a counselor. I can't talk on breaking addictions, but I can talk about just kind of changing your mindset and really looking at what you're doing, because sometimes too we think we're really, really bad when we're not as bad as we think, right? You might do a food journal and go, oh, well, I'm really only having 2 cheat meals a week, and that's not super bad, right? So that's my advice to you, Kimberly, is to start a food journal, keep up with everything you're eating and drinking for at least a week, and then go back and look at it and say, okay, what am I really doing? Like, where am I cheating? And I don't like the word cheating either, but where am I splurging, I guess is a better word, and where can I improve? So I hope that helps. It's hard to talk about things like that without that person here to really know what they're struggling with and how to help them personally. But I am a certified health coach, and if you need some of that one-on-one help to make these changes, I would love to work with you. You can just direct message me for more info on that. But I really feel like if we just focus on mostly healthy eating and really be honest with ourselves on that 80-20, that 80-20 is perfect. Nobody eats completely healthy 100% of the time, and we're not expected to. We are able to splurge, we're able to have those fun dessert times. We just have to be honest with what is moderation. I have a lot of I talk a lot with moms and their kids, because people, when I first made the switch with my family, I would send my son's snacks to school. He was in a summer program, and I sent all of his food because I didn't want him to have what they were giving them. And I got a lot of, oh, you're being so overbearing, or let kids be kids, and everything in moderation. But here's the thing with that phrase, everything in moderation. Just like we're not honest with ourselves on 80-20, we don't really know what the word moderation means. Sure, I believe everything in moderation, but let's think about a kid's life, right? So if we know that like red food dye, which is the highest, I lose words, sorry, but it's a trigger for hyperactivity, loss of focus, and just behavior issues. So I knew that, and so I removed it from my son's diet. So if I said, but everything in moderation, and he went to school and they gave him a red sucker because he was good that day, and then at lunch they gave him pink yogurt, or he went to a friend's house and they had red gummy bears, like that's gonna trigger him every single day. So that's not moderation. And when you're thinking about moderation in your kids especially, they get treats at school, they get treats at church, they get treats from their grandparents, they get treats when they go to friends' houses. So it's okay to be that mom. I just want to give all the moms out there permission that it's okay to be that mom, and to be like, what, no, like I know that this is bad for my kid. I know that it is creating an adulthood where he's gonna struggle, or she is gonna struggle with sugar addiction or obesity. And I want to be in control of that now when they're young, so that they don't have to struggle so much growing up and into adulthood. So I got off on a little tangent there, but it kind of goes together, 80-20 in moderation. And I do, it's okay. It's okay when we fall off the wagon, because what the best thing is about healthy eating and one simple change is you can always come back to it tomorrow. So even if you fall off the wagon, even if you have that candy bar in the afternoon that you shouldn't have, tomorrow's a new day, right? So you get to start again. So hopefully this was helpful. I am super excited to be with you every Wednesday. Sara will be back next week, and we will have more to talk about. Don't forget to comment your questions or topics on the post that I do on Tuesday nights. You gotta like my fitness page to see it. It's Hether Crawford Fitness. You'll be entered into a prize drawing. We're gonna do a prize drawing every single month, and the only people entered are the people that are liking or commenting a question or tagging their friends on that post. So and tuning in live. So if you're tuned in, hey Tina, you're entered in that drawing too. So that's all I have today, and I can't wait to see you next week.